I want to talk about where the vibe coding market is going. And yes, I think you can say vibe coding market. It's a weird world. So, what I mean by that is that there are a ton of tools that are jumping into the Lovable Bolt world. The latest is Canva, and they just jumped in with an also like, hey, you can actually type in and we'll create something for you. And then it was really funny because one of the leaders at Canva actually publicly said they think that there's only one good use case for it, and that is prototyping. And they think they're the best because they think they're a design tool. And it's rumored that Figma is doing the same thing. I think the Me Too's are going to be also rans. At this point, you need to have a distinct value wedge to get people to use this stuff. And people need to see the opportunity to deliver value. And what's interesting is the people who are late to the party are emphasizing less functionality as a value. So Canva emphasizing it's only prototyping. The people who are early to the party, like Replit and like Lovable, are emphasizing more functionality. Lovable pulling in databases a while ago, today announcing Lovable 2, where they're going to go and bring teams in. They're going to go and bring in security scanning. There's a couple of other features. If you look at the direction of the build of that product, it is not just for prototyping. They are envisioning web apps being buildable and lovable. If you look at Replit, I wanted to love them so much 6 months ago. I am actually loving them now. And the reason why is they have finally figured out the planning function with their building agent, which I think is built on LangChain and LangGraph, or at least it was a couple of months ago. But they've figured out the planning function. This agent now takes time to sit down, think, plan the whole workflow, and then they give you a notification that says, hey, this is going to take 10 minutes. Go make some coffee. We're not in a rush here. And you set the expectation with the user so that the user knows that they need to be prepared to let the builder build. I saw this firsthand because my kid was coding an app that she wanted to build in Lovable today, and she saw, hey, it's going to take 10 minutes, and she could figure it out as a 9-year-old. Oh, all right, I gotta wait. And what was interesting is 6 months ago, Lovable and Bolt both and Replit would have sort of died at that point, where they like build something and it's functionally not workable, and the error fixing goes into a loop. And I'm not here to say that doesn't still happen. Every single day, people slide into my DMs and they're like, I tried Lovable and I built this thing and I got into an endless error loop. I believe it. I've had it happen to me too. There are ways to fix it. That's not what this video is for. But the point is, from a competency curve point of view, the products in the head of the pack, like Lovable and Replit, are pushing up the sigmoid curve really, really fast on capability, because they believe that AI intelligence is going to be good enough to allow you to build at least some light web apps for like almost no money completely inside the product. And so fundamentally, like the value proposition of Lovable is it's the app to end apps, right? Like it's the app where you build all the other apps you need. That is a big vision. I'm not saying they're there yet. I'm not saying they're going to get there. I'm not sure I buy that vision, but that's the idea. And what I am impressed by and noticing is that vibe coders are flocking to this, and they are leaning into fully featured products, and they are leaning into the promise of finishing their products, and they are demanding that and expressing frustration when it doesn't work. I would not be getting this many DMs about using a product and it not working and people being frustrated if people didn't have a real desire to build a real app. The analogy that I gave to a friend recently is that what we are seeing in vibe coding right now is like what would happen if you had a city and all that they had up until last year was restaurants. Restaurant. Nobody had a kitchen. Imagine in that world, suddenly you figured out a way for everybody to have kitchens affordably. Boom. Suddenly you can have kitchens. Is everybody going to cook at home? No, definitely not. There's absolutely still going to be a market for restaurants. And we all know that intuitively because we have kitchens in our home and we still go out to eat. But there's going to be a ton of interest in cooking at home, and that's going to be an entire industry. And it's incorrect both to compare that to the restaurants, to the professional engineering jobs, and also incorrect to say it doesn't exist. It's a real market. It really exists. It's going to lean into fully featured apps. No one wants to cook their food and have it half done. But it's different than restaurants and full-scale engineering. And I think that we're missing that nuance. And I think that the companies that come in and sort of publicly say that the products they're bringing to market are fine if they're half featured, like Canva did, they're not going to succeed long term. I don't think that that's actually going to take market share from the companies that are committed to delivering the home coding, home kitchen experience. I had to use the scare quotes. Let me know what you think. I think this is a topic that I'm really curious about because I see a ton of interest in my social feeds, and I think there's appetite here that is not fully satisfied by the market.